I thought this was the funnest thing of the night. I personally would have closed with this, but I'm not booking the shows yet.
Yet. Yeah.
We get the
Tony.
world, Tony, come on.
No, you're
The
listening.
world title contenders casino gauntlet match. And it kicks off with
rolls right off the tongue.
Switchblade, Jay White, and he's the first guy, right? So boom, that's what he got. Well, guess who's number 2? Oh, it's that cowboy shit time. Hangman Adam Page walks out, and you go, ho, ho, ho. We got some fireworks.
And they go
and boy, do we. You know?
I think that was actual audio if you're listening back later.
Yeah. And we get some fun here. So those two guys enter in. Willer Yuta, who sucks, he goes out there. He gets his ass kicked, which is fun. And then we get the moment of the night, I thought. So Hangman dispatches Yuta and Jay White. He's standing there in the ring. Next person, we do the countdown. And then we hear, whose house?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, we're doing it. I stood up. I was like, we're doing it. And then you hear, I don't even know what he said, but then he ended it with and I was like, motherfucker.
Yeah, what was it? The Jada Kiss laugh is what we were saying that was?
Yeah.
Which is a great touch. If he added that full time to his thing, we don't got to do the swerve fake music, but like if that kicks off his music every time, even better. I love this new thing. I had mentioned on Wrestling with Neurodivergence podcast that Ricochet should have brought those scissors and cleaned Yuta up a little bit. That dude looks homeless.
Yes. Yeah, he definitely looks like he needs shelter during a snowstorm.
A little bit. Set him straight.
Or maybe the Death Riders are like, you grow that out until we accept you in this group. Because again, it feels like Yuta's not 100% in, right? It feels
this is his ISIS era.
Yeah, you're getting in. Yeah, I'm just. So yeah, we get the swerve, I guess pun intended, that it was Ricochet, not Swerve Strickland, and Ricochet goes in there and he looks good, right? Like he's doing the springboards and the bum. So we get these guys wrestling for a while. One thing that I did like about the match is it wasn't consistent on when they came in. It could be like 2 minutes. It could be 5 minutes, like just whenever we want. I think that's good because sometimes you're like in like the Royal Rumble, you're like, we're kind of standing around. Yeah, let's do it now. Boom. Okay, cool. The next guy that comes in is Adam Cole. And I thought this was really cool because Adam Cole has history with every single guy so far in the match. Obviously, Jay White, Bullet Club, all of that stuff. Obviously, Hangman, when Hangman was champion, Adam Cole challenged for the championship. Also, it was referenced as, I guess, Adam Cole got Hangman into the group, but I don't know Bullet Club history, so whatever. And then he's got that amazing super kick on Ricochet when Ricochet did the backflip in NXT and wow, caught that motherfucker in the air. And I thought that was cool. What did you think about at this point of the match? Adam Cole, Hangman, all the stuff.
I just thought, much like I'd been saying about the Continental Classic this year, I'm like, man, they stepped this like casino gauntlet up. Like this is folks that kind of hover, right? Like these aren't just mid-card dudes. These are folks that you can see plugged into main event roles.
Well, speaking about that, we get our first champion in the match, Daniel Garcia, the TNT champ, as that is. He goes in there and he starts wrecking house, right? He's bop-a-doom, bop-a-doom, bop-bop-bop.
Yeah.
And then the one criticism I'll have, and someone still needs to explain this to me. Please send in an audio clip or write us something. Matt Menard can't just be the cheerleader.
He's his exclusive commentator. Yeah. They don't call him his manager. He doesn't walk out with him. He does not book his matches. Right? He doesn't book his travel, it seems. He literally comes out to commentary only to commentate his match.
Daniel Garcia. Danny, we got to be doing this. The plan, Danny, is this. It's like, now last night, I think he did the entire
entire match. Didn't he?
Yeah, well, I think he did the entire show.
Oh, was he on the whole show? Well, because they had Ian Riccaboni. Oh, and then Excalibur.
And then
it was Daddy Match.
But,
that's true. Yeah.
But we also, even if it was Taz out there, for example, Matt Menard would have also been out there as we've been continuing this thing.
Here's the thing that I know, though. Every time we don't get the Daniel Garcia dance is a time I'm upset about that.
Yeah, here's the suggestion from me. I don't know. I'm just a wrestling fan. Cut the fucking Daniel Garcia has a dad in AEW with Matt Menard and get him back to being fucking cool.
Daddy Magic is Danny Garcia's father. Here in the chat.
It's weird.
It is weird. And look, I love Daddy Magic, but just keep him on commentary then. That's where he's good at. He's good at this. Or make him a manager for somebody. Make him his manager and let him talk for him. That's fine too. He's awesome. He's a very funny guy. Yeah, and he's very annoying. He's got a very punchable face, right, for the character. Like, let it happen.
Yeah, but I just don't like it. It's so weird. It feels like it feels like an overprotective father watching his son play t-ball. Hit the ball, Danny. It's like,
this feels like, whenever we hear wrestling interviews and some of these wrestlers are too into the meta of the wrestling industry, right? And they want to talk too much about like the young boys that they had or whatever. And it's like, that's what it feels like, right? It feels like this is his prison bitch that he's keeping an eye on.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it.
Very weird.
Yeah.
But he's in there. He's wrecking shop. And then we get some meat. Powerhouse Hobbs goes in there.
Every time I see Hobbs, I'm like, fuck yeah, let's fucking. Yeah, I think how you felt with with the king of the shit, right?
No, you didn't feel like this. You don't feel like this. You don't feel like this.
Maybe I haven't. Maybe we did meet Hobbs. That's true. I did not bump him in the chest and be like, I like that energy. You, however. That is one of the greatest moments of my life, is witnessing you chest bump Nick Gage and being like, I love that energy. Give him a fucking low five. And still flexing, right? Still doing gave him the low five back. And he was like, yeah, like your energy.
Gang affiliated.
Good times. To rewind the clock.
Yeah, MDK motherfuckers. This is what I think of with Powerhouse Hobbs. Awesome look. Believable in the sense of everyone is fucked in the match, and also the smoothest hands of any person I've ever shook hands with. God, that was amazing.
Also, very definitive mean snarl, right? Like, he looks like he's disgusted and ready to murder you fast because of how disgusted he is, right? Yeah. That's your solace, is at least this might go quickly for you.
So he's in there. He's wrecking shop. He's power slamming. He's doing his powerhouse shit. Roderick Strong runs out there. Fine. Then whatever. Like, he's fine. He is a good wrestler.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, he's
stuck with less strong. Really should have kept leaning into that. Should have really leaned into that.
Because, and then Kyle O'Reilly then also
that can move.
Up.
Then it can be arm strong. Like it can just always move. Foot strong. Come on, this
the two things. One, I don't think he's a good baby face. Same with Kyle O'Reilly. I don't think they're good baby faces. And two, one of them has to be Dean Malenko, because they both don't have personalities that are interesting. So one of them has to be like, like Shibata almost, but Shibata's cool. Like, I'm the wrestler. You know what I mean? Because
remember when I was saying about those guys over here that seem way too meta into the wrestling industry and talk about young boys? These are the guys that come to mind.
Terry Funk didn't wear no mouthpiece. Kyle O'Reilly. And then we get a Haas fight. This was fun. So next up, the Murder Hawk monster, Lance Archer, comes in there.
This is another moment of the night.
Yeah. Archer and Powerhouse Hobbs, standing on opposite sides of the ring, just decide to throw Ricochet at each other.
Well, so I don't even think Hobbs did it, and then was like, and everybody was like, meet, and he's like, yeah, and then Archer's like, okay, but first, let me show you that I can do that too. Because even Hobbs was like, okay. Let's do this. I kind of wanted them to do it back and forth a few more times, right?
Yeah.
Because the selling that we would have got from that would have
Ricochet did this awesome. Stood up like he didn't know where he was. Maybe he actually didn't. Took the bumps. Amazing. Yeah, this was a fun part of the match. But let's fast forward We get down to the end of it. Oh, actually, no, there is one thing we got to talk about. Jeff Jarrett walks out, but before he can even get the match, Yuta takes him out, which is fine with me.
Yeah. Thanks, Yuta.
Well,
I didn't expect you to do something cool tonight.
yeah, exactly. Let's talk about that. So, long story short here, Powerhouse Hobbs wins, and he's the fucking man. Me. Yes. And he does an in-ring interview with Renee Paquette, which Renee is so fucking fantastic. She's the greatest.
She's really good.
I love Mean Gene.
I knew that from day one when she was in WWE. I was like, wow, this is a polished, this is good. This is good talent.
Mean Gene is a special place in my heart. He also did amazing things, but Renee with just her facial selling of things. So what I'm getting at here is Hobbs is like, hey, let's shoot for a second. The person who got me into AEW was Powerhouse Hobbs, which if you go back to pandemic era AEW, it was Moxley who brought in Powerhouse Hobbs. But then he says, but next week, I'm going to make Moxley my bitch. And that's where I was getting at with Renee, because then she's like, motherfucker, really? My husband? Okay. And just like walks off.
Yeah, she's built that, like you said, Gene Okerlund, that kind of like, all right, like I don't have to pretend, right? I don't have to mask around these folks, right? Like, because I'm not getting fired because you have a problem with me, right? Like, so I can shit talk a little.
But she always stays consistent with Moxley. Even when Moxley's brought up for doing dastardly things, she's like, yeah, I'm not happy with it. Or when someone like Hangman is like, I'm going to kill him, she's like, I don't want that.
Well, yeah, when it's like, okay, like I'm trying to keep professional here, man. I didn't come up and say my husband, John Moxley, like leave it alone, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And so we get old Powerhouse Hobbs talking that shit next week at
flexing that shit.
Capital Carnage. What is it called? Rampage Carnage? I forget the name of the show.
Yep, nailed it.
Yep, there it is. It's going to be Powerhouse Hobbs taking on the AEW World Champion, John Moxley. Look at that.
Now, I in no way think Powerhouse Hobbs is winning an AEW World title in this match. But
no.
Good spot for him. And I do think we need a little more to the Powerhouse Hobbs presentation, right? A little bit more still to come, I think, to make him really that star that I think he could be.
Can I tell you what I would do? Because we're going to hot shot it, right? It's next week. We don't got a lot of time to build this up.
Yeah.
I would do the match where Moxley walks out first. The Death Rider theme and everything is fucking spot on. The song is badass. The way they fucking just move around. Awesome. Love it. And we'll get to that in a moment too. But this is what I would do. You'd have Moxley come out and he's like, doing his like back and forth. Come on, motherfucker.
Shoulders, right?
I'm going to beat your ass, and then do the Powerhouse. And you do, again, because it's the best version of Powerhouse Hobbs, make the fucking action figure of it. No fucking singlet. It's just normal fucking wrestling gear. Mink coat. Fur, fake fur. Let's all be serious.
Timberlands.
Timberlands, all that. You get the jeans torn up from 1998, and you just have him walking out.
Oh, slow. I didn't hate. Now you probably don't want to wrestle it, but the one time he had the overalls on too, right? But he had like the 110 out, right?
Yeah. But I would have him slowly walking out. Again, you want to make him a star? Don't do the Okada money thing, but have something like that.
We don't need a warrior sprint to the ring here and shake the ropes. We need some smoothness. I know we're doing that a lot. Swerve does that. Hurt Syndicate does that. But like a lot of people are cool, right? Like somebody can't own being smooth and cool, right? Like
well, it's different versions for me because like
they are. Oh yeah, they all have their own unique way of doing it for sure.
Swerve to me, even though he says he's the most violent man, Swerve to me is everyone knows I'm the fucking guy. With Powerhouse Hobbs, it feels like I'm here. Like you can't deny it, right? It's a different thing where it's like I may not be the best, but we're all looking
at big ass.
Yeah,
I get big money, right? Like
right. But I would
big
have
fist, motherfucker.
I would have him be so. I would have Moxley like a caged animal, and then I would have Powerhouse Hobbs as as relaxed and as
Moxley's
calm.
running up, hyena, and he's just fucking fucking Moxley off into the. Yeah, I mean, make him a strong, formidable giant. I agree with some of that.
And the thing that has to happen, please, Tony, I know you're listening. Please, Tony, have something for him afterwards. Don't just have Powerhouse Hobbs lose, and 3 weeks from now, then we see him again.
Yeah.
Have something.
I feel like he does need a focus, right? There has to be a reason for being, right? He's got to have a goal. And I think we need to spruce up the character a little, right? Like give him a look, right?
Or have him lose. He's, backstage with an ice pack on his neck or whatever. Have MVP walk up and say, hey, great match. Call me when you get a moment, and give him a card. Give him
a card. Yeah, man. I'm excited though. Powerhouse Hobbs. I like the guy. It's good.
I love him. He's the best. Smoothest handshake in the world.